Hello and welcome to the Practical Show. This is the show where we discuss all AI
All
tools, sales funnels, decision making, accountability, and much more that will help you grow your business. Hi, I'm Thomas Crotty. I'm your host, and I'm thrilled to have you join us here on our very first episode. Now, I'd like to introduce my amazing co host. She's on screen here with me. Anna is an expert in decision making and building partnerships and accountability with a stellar background in business, in streaming businesses and their process and achieving their goals. She is an amazing person. Her qualifications span from medical to accountancy and business. And her passion for AI is why we partner together. And I called her the AI Queen. Right. It's the first time it's gone out in public, Anna, the AI Queen. Over to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, but thank you for that royal introduction, Thomas. Yeah, and thank you for everybody who will join now live or will be on Team Replay. And let me tell you a little bit more about my co-host, Thomas. So his great knowledge in technology, that's the first thing that I admired so much when I met him first time, and great passion for AI and business strategies, and also passion for supporting businesses to grow through innovative solutions was something that we talked many times. And then when we talked about AI, the show started, as he called, an accidental journey. So, Thomas, I want to ask you about that maybe before we get into what we have today for our audience.
Oh, well, the
So,
accidental journey, yeah. Well, how that happened is our VIP guest, we got to give him a lot of credit. His name is Alan Bell. We'll talk more about Alan in a few minutes. But Alan saw something that myself and Anna had in common. We hadn't a clue, but we met last January back in Limerick in Ireland, and we sat down for what was meant to be 20 minutes. I think it went on for 2 hours, Anna. Was that right? Yeah.
yeah, it
Okay.
was, I think, over 2 hours, all right?
Yeah. And I now, okay, I never said this to you before, but I think we both left questioning why Alan put us together, right? Would that be
We
correct?
did, yeah, we did.
Yeah, yeah. So we still hadn't a clue after 2 hours. But one of the things that I had planned to do was that I wanted to do a podcast this year, and that didn't happen. And I was on a networking event where I mentioned AI, and Anna happened to be on the same, and she said, we need to talk. We got
Yeah.
together and started talking, and we started talking every day. And Anna then said, is there anywhere we can put this so that the others can see it and share it with them? And instead of having a podcast, we now have our
Uh,
own lives, our
oh,
practical show, the practical show, yes, where we're going to be talking, as I said, AI tools and everything else to go with it, right? All different types of tools. One of the things I have to say how a lot of this came about was I get asked a lot from various different people about tools. How do I push this button? What happens if I do this? Where do I get a solution to this? And that's one of the things. And I have a passion for AI. So, Anna,
yeah, so today, thank you for that story. And I think I have a couple of things to add, but that will relate to my own little demo later or introduction to accountability. And we will talk how we actually decided to go on with this show. But today, firstly, Thomas will show us how to customize ChatGPT in ChatGPT. Then I will share a very simple ABC accountability method. And then we'll go to part where we have a very insightful interview with our special guest, Alan Bell. So, and remember, please remember, this is a very interactive show. Leave your comments, ask questions, and we might bring some of you live. And also, if you could tell us some of the topics that you'd like us to explore. So please feel free. And over to you, Thomas.
all right, okay. Well, so I'm going to, as Anna said, going to talk about ChatGPT, GPT, right? And we're going to use, it's up here on the screen. Yes, we're going to use version 4.0. This is a paid version I've here, but there's very little difference between the paid and the unpaid. So why would you want to customize it? Well, I'm just going to give you a very, very quick demo here. Here's a blank part of the ChatGPT. I'm going to ask it a question for demo purposes. I'm going to ask it, what do you know about me and my business? Right, what do you know about? And it'll come up and tell me it doesn't know anything specifically about my business. So people come in and they fill this up, they give it a lot of background, and they repeatedly have to do it. It's not efficient to repeatedly have to tell GPT what you are about. So that's why you might customize it. There is 2 sections where you can customize it, and you just simply go to your profile picture up here, and we can see that there's My GPTs and Customized ChatGPT. I'm going to explain the difference and when you would use them. So if we click on Customized ChatGPT first, this was the way I actually first of all created my GPT, but everything moves on and there is a new way of doing it. And here, this is about telling ChatGPT about you and how you would like to respond. So you might tell it about your hobbies, you might tell it about a little bit about your business, so on. And you would also put in the tone and how you'd want to respond. You may even put in something about your vision in your business. And we'll talk more about vision with our VIP guest Alan in a few minutes. So you put in all the details about you in here. Now, the other way is My GPTs. And I thought it was going to let me down for a moment. Right, okay. So we have GPTs in here. We would create a GPT. And when we go to create our GPT in here, we get the opportunity to tell it everything about our business. Now, the reason we might do this version is the first version is telling it about you, that when you use the general GTP, it would know about you. Here is where you ask it to do something specific. And I'll give you an example on that in a few minutes. But we would just fill in everything and answer some questions, name it, a description, and so on. So like they say on the TV shows, especially the baking ones, one I prepared earlier. So I prepared one here called Customer Care Chat. And this is what it looks like in the background. I can customize it further by giving it more instructions on this page here. But here's what it looks like. I told it that it is designed to assist customers by answering questions, troubleshooting issues, providing helpful and friendly, efficient manner. It should handle related queries to products, services, and orders. I also told it a little bit about the tone that I wanted to use, and I also told it how to handle questions. So here's one. It's an inquiry about product features. Can you tell me more about the features? This is what I told the customer might ask of your latest products. And here's a response that I wanted to give. And I gave it a number of typical customer queries and responses. So if we go down further here, I also went into detail and conversation starters, things that may be asked by the customer. Now, the difference when I go back out of here and we click on, let's say this one here. This is the customer chat. If I say to it, I'm having trouble with my website. If I could only type. I'm having problems with my website. It says, sorry to hear that, right? And it wants to know more information. What's the problem? And if I say all the images, or there are no IMA. and it gives me information on how to fix my problem. I could have written anything in there and it will answer the questions for me. Right? So it would not have done
Thomas,
that in a, yes, go ahead.
yeah, Thomas, can I quickly ask you a question here, right? The first one that you customized, that was ChatGPT overall, and then you went into the specific one. And then can you give us maybe the difference? What was the first one about?
The
and
first
what's the
one
second?
is, yes, great question. The first one is there to customize it and teach ChatGPT a little bit about you. So when you go in to use a general inquiry, whatever that is, and using it on a daily basis, it will know how you want to respond, whether you want long answers, short answers, how you want it to behave, basically. The other ones are for specific reasons. So if we look at the one we're using at the moment, it was created to deal with customer care inquiries. So how long that took me? That took me 5 minutes to create that, and it's saving a lot of time. Originally, the very first one that I set up was a business coach for funnel builders. So if you remember when I started this presentation, I typed in, what do you know about me? If I typed into my business coach one, that is my GTP, that what, let's see what we'll type in here. Same thing again. What do you know about my business? We get a completely different answer as we would if we just went into the standard one. It tells you that it specializes with working with entrepreneurs. It also brings up various different things about my funnel business and so on, and it tells a hell of a lot about it. So that's the difference between the two of them.
Right, because you already put a lot of information into that specific ChatGPT.
I have
Where will
put
I
a-
see?
Where will you see
where will
that?
I see different ChatGPTs?
Where will you find them? Right, well, they all appear over here on the left-hand side after you create them, but if you want to edit them and we go back into my GPTs, they will be here for you to edit further. So if we take the business coach one, I want to add more information into it and give it more, I can do it here and it'll add more details about my business there. Let's say I hadn't put in the vision, I can put in the vision in there now. Right, so
Okay.
that's that one. Here's something which is quite interesting as well.
One more question to ask. Can I edit all those customizations, or can I add anything to it?
Yes,
Is there
you can to the my GPTs, those ones there that you've created that are yours. You can edit them as much as you want, yes, and add more to it. Right. What is very interesting is, let's say you had created a report, or you have a sales team, and you've created something that will help the sales team to deal with objections. Well, it's no good having it all in here in ChatGPT. So how do you get it out of here? Because if you copy it and put it into a Word document, what you're going to get is, look, it's not going to be formatted correctly. You could do all the formatting you want here, but take it out and put it into a Word document, it's going to be a mess. Just by typing the @ symbol, some of the custom GPTs that you have found when you went in and explored them and activated them, you can call them up just by going @ and even if you know what it is, @ documents, right? Actually, go back here again. @ doc comes up. This is my favorite one here. It's very good at creating Word documents, PDF, Excel, and so on, of all the content that's above there. And if I just said create Word document, right, we see, just type in Word. That's all. It goes off and analyzes what it is. It'll format it and it'll create a Word document that I can download, right? Actually, it should have done it, but it's not done.
Save a lot of time by using this tool.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas.
Because you can ask it to format everything, put it into columns, put it into, and even images, the whole lot, and just bring it out into Word documents or PDFs, or even creating things like PowerPoint presentations. So it is an amazing tool. There's a lot to be learned here, and unfortunately, we haven't got the time here to go through every single last thing. We will be doing more and more and getting deeper into various different AI tools over the coming weeks while we're putting on the show. Really, what I want to say though is if you've got any questions or anything about anything we covered, please put it into the chat and we will answer them for you. If not now, you're the ones that dictate the content of our future shows. So please start asking questions, put in the comments and everything. And now, Anna, I think we're moving on to your segment where you're going to tell us a little bit about accountability and how all this ties in together.
Thank you, Thomas. So accountability. That's a word that I absolutely love. And I think our journey, Thomas, prior to the show, we actually started on accountability partnerships on Walking, if you remember.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. So we started with that and keeping in touch over, I'd say, another AI tool, because Strava, it's run by AI, I believe. So we not necessarily talk every day, but what happened, we could see each other's activities on Strava. And that was another thing that brought us probably closer to this project. And now we do talk about accountability and help each other to achieve different goals. So today I would like to introduce or share something that probably you all know. You've seen those steps, you heard about those steps, but the fact that we all know a lot, we all hear a lot, we all think a lot, but do we actually action it? So the ABC accountability method is A for act now, B for break it down, and C is for check in. So maybe we should start first with what is accountability and where this worm, the origin of this word. So it's a Latin word, computare or computare, and meaning of calculate. And then over time, it evolved to two other components, which is account and ability. So account is following to explain or report, and ability is capacity to do something. It's actually first time was used in 17th century. And since that, the meaning is today it being responsible for your actions and reporting them honestly. I think honesty and transparency with yourself is the key here. So if we go back to our accountability from today's session, what showed us, Thomas, and see how we're going to move forward with AI. And do we need AI? That's probably one question to ask. But how do we action this in real time? So the first step, act now. I will invite you all to put down or write down one task that you've been putting off for a long time that relates to AI. And let's face it, AI is here to stay. So we all need to know something about it anyway to navigate through our daily lives or our business. So the first question would be, what is the one action you can take right now to move closer to your goal? So whatever that is relating to AI, just write it down. And then when you have that goal, just look and think, what are the 3 small steps you need to put in place, action it to actually complete this task? So whatever your goal is, break it down into 3 very, very simple steps. From that on, even if you have the steps written down and you know what you want to achieve, how are you going to check yourself? How are you going to check and stay accountable to what you actually set to do? And in that case, I will invite you to set a reminder on your phone when you're going to do those 3 steps and put a timeline. When do you want to achieve that? And because nowadays we have so much information coming at us at a very high speed, if you implement it this way, you set your task, divide it into 3, put the timeline when you're going to achieve that, and check, are you actually truthful? Are you actually true to yourself? Are you honoring what you set to do? And from that on, you will achieve more on a weekly basis and learn more, not just from our show, but do your own research and see what tool is more applicable to you. And then if you decide that you need more information, come back to us and Thomas will do his best, and myself, and give you that information and practice with you. Thank you very much. And
Anna,
now,
before we move on,
yeah,
Anna, right there, right, there's a few things you said. One, you said, well, do we really need AI? There's a few things that came into my mind while you were saying that. One is, if we go back when in history, when the light bulb was created, people said, oh, no, we don't need it, right? We're fine with the candles. And then when they came out with the Ford, the car, oh, no, I'm happy with my horse, right? Now, things do move on and people get left behind. The thing about AI,
yeah,
you might say, people out there might be saying, well, look, we've tried various different AI tools and they're not perfect. Yes, they are evolving and they're evolving at a very, very
yeah.
fast rate. But you could have a tool, let's say it was a guitar, and somebody's playing the
Mhm.
guitar and they're perfect, it sounds brilliant. And you could take it yourself and try and play it, and it might not be perfect. It's not the tool, it's the practice and how we implement it is what really makes it work. Right? Uh,
Absolutely. When you give those examples, I was thinking about the email and internet, way back. Do you remember? Yeah, it's another thing, but look at us now. All our life evolved
yeah,
around that, and you
yes.
can't do anything about it. And everything is at high speed. Yeah.
So
So
there was one other thing you said there, which made me ask the question: when what you're talking about, accountability, decision making, and all that, and the tasks that you gave our audience there to hold up accountable. Some might be saying, well, why would I bother doing that? And how does all this tie in with AI? And what benefits going to be to me if I take these actions? And again, as I said, how does it all tie in with AI?
yeah, first of all, those actions you can take and implement to anything, right? It doesn't have to be AI. I was tying into AI, especially people who are in business and they want to move forward. Anything that you touch now, whether that be on social media or anything else we do, I think every business has some sort of tool that they use. Even our emails, right? You look at our Gmail, it's a lot of things behind the scenes are done by AI. So I think it only makes sense that if you don't want to be uh, too deep into this, but to have a general knowledge about AI and even ChatGPT, that's the one I'd say most people use now. But to set it correctly, the main outcome this here would be saving time. If you have the customization done at the very start, you will save a lot of time getting the answers that you need that are actually applicable to you. They represent you correctly, that you don't need to spend time to editing and re-editing all the time. So that's the way I'd say, according to our topic today, it will be very beneficial if you're thinking of using any AI, especially OpenAI or generative AI like ChatGPT. You need to do this done. You need to get this done. Sorry, that you're not going to be wasting time and arguing with ChatGPT and fighting with it that the answers are not right. So that would be a direct outcome, Thomas.
Okay,
And
brilliant. Yeah.
if any other questions, we get in touch with everybody. But I would like to now move on to our VIP guest, Alan Bell.
All right. Okay. So it's Alan is here with us. I'd like to welcome Alan. And Alan, thank you very much for joining us today. Right.
How you doing?
And Alan is a communication consultant. I've known Alan for a number of years. Right. We met way, way back. I'm going to let Alan introduce his background. And Alan, if you could tell us a little bit about your background and how you are qualified, not just qualified, but what it is that got you into helping businesses create a vision. Because I've been with you a long time now and I've seen you in action and you're pretty good at this stuff, right? So give the audience an idea as to how you got into this.
Oh, you're very kind, Thomas. Thank you, and Anna as well. So, guys, it's quite the honour to be asked to be your first guest. Thank you indeed. I knew you guys had been up to something. I didn't know what it was, and then I heard you were doing this radio show. So fantastic. And yeah, and then I didn't realise even what the nature of the show would be. And then it was an extra bonus to hear it was called a practical show because I think, as you both know, I'm pretty well driven by practical things. and I may be accused on occasion of being overly practical, but I certainly like what you've done here, guys. So thanks so much for inviting me on.
You're
So
most welcome.
your question
Yes.
was, I think, what got me into the whole space of helping people with vision. So it would actually go back to my own background is from graphic design, branding, and so on. And then the internet came along, giving my age here, but the internet came along, that became all about websites. So for a long period of time, I was building websites for people with them in a small company here. And in our innocence, we thought that, we'd ask a client to give us the content and we'd put it onto their website. But of course, in reality, that hardly ever happened. They simply aren't qualified to put together their own content. So in an attempt to make sure websites actually ever got done and completed and went live, I simply started to be the one that would write the content and interpret what it was our clients did in their business. Because honestly, it was very rarely in any way clear. So year after year after year, I just started writing content for websites. And that, it just turns out that really was mostly about the vision and the mission and so on that the company would like to communicate on their website. So I think that's the quickest answer to your question, Thomas. Is it evolved from writing website content because it simply wasn't going to happen unless I did it, and then you develop knacks for how to capture certain messages in more and more effective ways, and vision became the main focus over the years as I transitioned away from the web design industry. As you will know, Thomas, I became much more interested in the whole world of business networking, which is where I would get all my business anyway. I became more interested in business networking and that aspect of things, and that evolved into becoming a trainer and a coach and a particular a consultant where communications are just so important, and vision is probably the core item of communication that needs to be captured.
All right. Well, Alan, seeing as you rightly said, we named our show Practical Show. All right. So let's get into some practical stuff regarding vision and creating a vision. So what are the typical steps that a business should take when trying to create a vision, or their own vision for their business, I should say?
Okay. And look, make no mistake, it's a tough exercise. It's easy to say in creating a vision is important. That bit's easy to say, but make no mistake, it is a tough journey to get right. It can be weeks, months, years of focus to really capture it. So for the small number of people who can work out their own vision, which honestly, that's a small number of people. Most people will need help. They will need help and guidance in a sort of coaching training way. But to give some practical steps, I would say, first of all, get to grips with the difference between vision and mission. That's nearly always what I get asked. What's the difference between vision and mission? And even when you try to help out there, people will typically very quickly bring their language back into mission. They veer away from vision and they go back to mission. So the first thing I would say in a practical sense is realize the difference. Vision is what do you want to achieve? And mission is what do you do for your clients? I could give way, way more detailed descriptions, but to keep this simple in the amount of time we have here, vision is what do you want to achieve? What do you want your business to look like in the future? And mission is what do you do for your clients? What value do you bring to the marketplace? And that's what I see. People they think they're talking about their vision, but they're actually talking about their mission. So do your best to separate out your thinking from mission into vision.
You said there, Alan, when you started off, you said that people, that vision is a very, very important thing to have in a business. Now, there'll be people out there of all different types of sizes of business out there. and they may not understand why a vision is so important to not just have it in your head, but to put it down on paper and share it with people. Could you just explain a little bit about that?
Okay. Well, look, first thing, as you said there, get it on paper. It's of little value if it's in your head. So you do need to get it on paper. That's almost taken as read. But I think, look, the best answer I can give to that is I'm just going to use a painfully predictable, obvious cliche, but it simply is true. You would not build a house by going straight to building the walls and painting the interior and putting the roof on and putting the curtains up. You wouldn't go straight to those things. You would put down the foundation. And there's simply no getting away from this. You do not have a foundation for your business and everything you want to achieve without very clearly defining the vision. And if you don't do it, you're always going to be working a little bit in the dark. Sorry, Anna. Yeah, go ahead.
No, we just have a question there, and you explained what the difference between the vision and mission, but can you explain another difference between vision and a goal, please?
Okay, yeah, good one. Yeah, I usually get asked the difference between vision and mission, but yeah, so difference between vision and goals. Okay. Again, the simplest version I could suggest is goals are a set of steps within a vision. The vision is the big, broad, overall thing. And within that, there will be a set of different goals to achieve the vision. That would be the quickest answer I have, Anna. If that would make sense.
I think a lot of people would like to probably elaborate on that and how we're going to connect with you, Alan. If anybody would like to, Thomas, maybe you have there something to show to our
I do have Alan there. If somebody wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do that? Right? I do think I have your details here somewhere, but yeah, tell us.
Well, with a lot of encouragement from you over the years, Thomas, I have become more and more active on LinkedIn, I guess. So LinkedIn is probably the single best way to track me down.
So yeah, I managed to find your details and put them on the screen there. I think that's it. So Alan Bell, Ireland, because is there a load of Alan Bells on LinkedIn?
I'd love to be the only one, but alas, no, there's more. There's more out there. Yeah.
So to be sure, everybody, when they're looking for more information on communications, vision, mission, etc., Alan is contactable by sending him a message. I believe his phone number might even be there on LinkedIn. And so reach out to him on LinkedIn. Alan, thanks very much for your insightful information, and we really appreciate you coming on here in the show with us.
Thanks, guys.
I don't know whether we have... Yeah, I don't know whether we've got any more questions there. If anybody's got a question, type it in there, the chat, and we'll bring it up here. So yeah, any questions that we might have, just ask them there, right? Okay. So, right. Also, what we'd like to see happening here is that if you could please like, share, subscribe, comment, everything, ring that bell, the notification bell on LinkedIn. Also, that notification bell on YouTube. So important that you won't miss any other episodes. So just like, share, comment, and yeah, I like pushing all the buttons here. Anna says I overdo it, but anyway.
Definitely in a toy show, that's for sure, right? Toy shop.
Yeah. So it would appear that... Yeah, it would appear that we don't have any further questions here. But Anna, have you anything for the rest of the lineup?
I'm actually watching the time, Thomas, and I would like to be respectful whoever joined us today with the time. So thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you in advance to everybody who will watch on replay. And Alan, really appreciate you finding time to be here today with us, so thank you very much.
All right. So yes, okay, so that's it. But what have we got? Any idea of what we're doing next week, Anna?
Well, next week is actually an exciting one because I love images and I spent probably too much time on creating them, and we will be talking about Canva. So, and hope you'll join us again.
Yeah, and it's not just Canva, it's Canva and AI tied in together. We will always hopefully be able to bring some AI into every bit of our discussions. And like I said, if there's something you want to know in particular, put it into the comments. We will try and have it on our show next week, and if not, it'll be the week after. So thank you very much to everybody for watching. Be sure to like, share and subscribe, as I said. And for now, that's all we've got. Thank you again. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.